Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Hey, 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 hey. Ho, 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 ho. Hey, 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 hey. Ho, 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 ho.
I think that should just be the show. You dancing. Just that.
Yo, what's up, dude?
Love that.
How you been, man?
Man? How you feeling?
I'm a little tired, man. It's been, for those of you who listen to us that might be in warmer climates, I know we have people that listen to us from Australia. We have people that listen to us from all over. Montreal is a cold place, and we get a lot of snow, and that snow often sucks, and it's annoying. It's annoying, and I just don't really want to deal with it. And yeah, it's been. I didn't mean to put my hoodie on. It's been annoying, and
you're so cold that you're naturally putting it on subconsciously.
Yo, seriously. And I had to shovel out my car, and I get that is a privilege to have the car, to even say that I have a vehicle. But at the same time, it is still very difficult for my old ass body when you have to shovel what feels like the equivalent of like 200 pounds of snow. Because if every shovel,
you make it sound like you're 80 years old, bro.
Oh no, I'm not 80.
Sometimes when the snow is 4 feet or taller, don't matter your age.
Yeah, so I think the thing for those of you who don't know, that in Canada, on the eastern seaboard, as they like to say, the snow gets. They being anyone who knows about Montreal. Okay. But it's just that it gets compact and really heavy, so it is a workout, and I enjoy the workout. But because it's not easy to have a good form when shoveling, like it's such an awkward thing to shovel because there's no balanced. Like I can't find a balanced way for the body to do it in one motion, so it always feels like
shoveling should be an Olympic sport by the sounds of it.
Practicing, bro. That's just practicing.
The shot.
I have it down to a speed that I could literally just I just rock back and forth and just slowly move forward, and I create a line.
There is a tool called a snowblower that you can purchase.
Well, that's the thing. I can't use a snowblower in my parking lot because there's other cars.
No, of course, yeah. Or I mean, you can.
Yeah, well, that's it, right? That was a joke. Michelle yesterday was just like, "Hey, we're gonna have to either pay a kid or we're gonna buy a snowblower because I don't want to do this." I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I see that. I could hear that." Yeah,
I'm surprised your condo, is it your condo association? You guys could opt to ask for there to be snow removal in the parking lot. No,
we do.
Is it there? Okay, yeah. Because you pay that in your condo fees. You pay facility.
Yeah. We do have snow removal, but the problem is if you don't move your car when the plow comes, it only cleans in front of your car, not around your car. And my car is on against like a wall, so the snow accumulated. And it was funny when I moved my car, there was like a wall of snow the height of my car that was this, like it had done the indentation of like my wheel. Like when you move the car, you could see the indentation of the car on the side.
Oh man, this is why condos with indoor parking were their shit. Because I didn't have to do any of that or worry about anything. Yeah. Just pull into the garage and it's over.
I remember when I remember at my peak, I had a where I was staying in an apartment building. I had indoor parking, and at my work, I had indoor parking.
Wait, what do you mean your peak?
Because now I have I should say my peak setup. I should say.
Okay. I was like, when I was at my peak, what are we talking about?
Yes, I realized I should have maybe worded that a little bit better.
When I was a multi-billionaire,
damn, Dave, you're that loaded before joining us. Damn. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
That's all good. No, so my peak living arrangement or work setup was legit, and my apartment building was a very warm indoor parking lot. So I'd go sometimes take a jean jacket if I felt like it, but if I knew I was staying indoor the whole day, I brought my own lunch to work or whatever, I wouldn't even need to bring a jacket.
Yeah, man.
It was just parking lot to parking lot. It was
exactly great. That's the best. But having a house is a whole different discussion, right?
It's so different.
Got to shovel the front, the side, the everything. Everything requires shoveling and stuff.
I'll say one thing though. Having a house comes with other weird issues. Like you're like,
everything.
Yeah,
everything. Everything. When you realize that something's dripping, you're like, I'm the super.
Exactly.
You know we're grown ass when we start talking about property.
Oh my gosh. You got like Home Depot is a regular trip these days. Man. It's crazy.
When we started this podcast like 5 years ago, talking about owning property and shoveling was not how we started the show.
You know what? You're right. You're very right. That's actually a good way to gauge how far we've come. A lot has changed.
Yo, seriously.
A lot has changed in 5 years.
I'm not even mad at it though. At first I was just like, oh God, I feel so old. But then it's just like, no, feel accomplished.
Exactly.
Like,
that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
100%. You're only as old as you feel too. I've always believed that as well. You know? So
but that's easy to say when you're built like an Adonis though. So I don't know if
that didn't happen overnight. I am tired of this being an excuse, folks. I don't listen, COVID, I'll just say right now, COVID has affected everyone, including me. I can't maintain that level of activity with nothing to do activity with.
Yeah.
Right. So it's definitely been rough to adjust to, but I will say it is a choice, guys. To work out, to exercise, and all those things, it is a choice.
It's still there. So I mean,
like, no, but you know what, Dave? Let's be fair. It must be hard for him to still be at 80% of the build.
Shut the hell up.
It must be so difficult when you go from being at peak performance to just below peak performance.
When going from 3% body fat to 5 must be a hard life.
Oh, God forbid.
Do you guys watch Dragon Ball? It's like going from Ultra Instinct back to Super Saiyan 1. That's what this is.
Absolutely amazing to awesome. Like I don't understand.
Can we point out the fact that his comparison was still a fucking Super Saiyan?
I was joking. I'm going back to Goku pre-transformation.
This is your true form.
This is Goku pre-transformation.
Oh my God,
that's great.
That was the best comeback ever. Like it was a setup for us.
But man, I miss it, man. If there's one thing I miss, it's that. I can't wait for lockdown to be done. I can't wait for this whole thing. But at the same time, it's also made me realize you can't. Ontario's same lockdown as you guys, just not curfew.
Okay.
No, but are you guys doing better with your numbers? Because at least our numbers, at least in the last 3 days, went underneath 1,000, but it's still not.
Oh, hey, even February 8th, you're at 908 in Quebec, and the ICU beds are down to 136. That's a little update for anyone out here in Quebec. So Quebec is doing decent, but you know what, guys? I'm really excited because we're throwing that all out the window so that kids can go to movie theaters.
Oh my God! Don't even get me started. It makes me so angry. Am I allowed to go on a
if we're already on this, and I'm glad because I don't want to talk about the gym anymore. How are you guys handling the fact that was that a true article you posted there?
Yes.
Yeah, was it? Okay, so they're reopening arenas,
indoor pools,
indoor pools, and
movie theaters.
Movie theater.
The things that I read that highlighted.
Hold on, Dave. You gotta think of the kids.
Man, give me the gym before indoor pool, guys.
But the things that's the thing though. Here they're not giving gym. So in my mind, it's like you could probably have a controlled environment with the gym and get like because that would help a lot of people mentally. But like,
for sure,
the things though is that it's like it's arenas, movie theaters, like you said, and they're allowing 8 people from 8 different households to do outside activities. Now, they're planning to allow this to happen right before spring break. So the thing that breaks my mind is
during spring break, is the whole plan.
You have, regardless of what they want to say, obviously schools are a problem. It's part of how it's spread. But now you're saying that problem that's spread, we are now going to allow them for their week off to just do more social activity to interact with more people that they would regularly not interact with, like the people at the movie theater or whatever. And then they're going to spread it because people want to go. Some people want to go back to work either because they're bored or they need the cash. So people are going to want to go back to work.
100%.
Like,
can I say this though? When it comes to like when these things, whole lockdown, no lockdown, back on, back off thing hasn't made sense to me from the beginning. I don't know about you guys, but not once has it made sense as to their approach. And it's either the smartest motherfuckers in the room or the dumbest motherfuckers in the room. Smartest being that maybe if you follow the money somewhere, someone's benefiting from this continuing, right? So this is a way of.
But I don't. I personally don't.
Kickbacks, because there must be kickbacks. It doesn't make sense.
Something. That's what I'm saying. In order to make sense of it, maybe following the money is the next thing someone needs to do here, or they're the dumbest motherfuckers, and we're literally putting our lives entrusted to a bunch of idiots.
But like,
I don't know, guys. I feel like you guys are being really harsh. They're thinking of the mental health of the kids, guys. Like
mental health of the kids. How about my fucking mental health?
Guys, the children.
Listen, if you continue this, Brian, I'm gonna start talking about how Wanted was the best movie of all time. I swear.
The children leave.
No.
Yo, man, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you guys. I think that this whole thing is a joke. I think they don't actually care what they're doing. I agree with Toby that this is probably some sort of weird cabal deal that the Freemasons, joking aside, it sounds like someone's making a deal somewhere, because it doesn't make sense to put the kids to create these activities and open things back so that people can spend time together when we finally started to get the numbers down. The fact that on February 8th the number was below 1,000 by a lot shows to me that we were doing the right thing. And then we're going to open stuff back up after doing all these quarantines. We didn't give people Christmas, we didn't give people all these things, but we're going to give people spring break. Are you fucking kidding me? We didn't give people Christmas, but we're making sure they have a spring break. What are you talking about? So anyways,
even at that, it's like, I would rather, if we had to, I would rather quarantine till April with the potential of having a normal summer than take any risks right now.
Yeah, man.
That's a personal opinion. But at the same time, it's like, why aren't you paying attention to places like Australia and like, is it Switzerland or Sweden? I forget, but like their counts are like stupid low. And that's because I know Australia went on like legit 6 months of hardcore quarantine with curfew and all that. And their numbers went to like almost nothing.
Yeah, New Zealand is the one that's like legit at zero. Like they held it down.
Yeah, but they're the ones who like completely.
But like we also have to take into account the fact that their population is far below Canada or the US, right? So it might be a little bit easier to wrangle 25 million people than it is to wrangle 100, 200, 300 million people. Whatever the count.
You're saying that for New Zealand, or are you saying that for Australia?
Australia is like 25 million people.
Is it? I thought they were.
Yeah,
bigger.
Man. No.
I thought they were bigger.
I don't know about New Zealand, but I know that about Australia. Don't ask me how.
New Zealand is quite a small population.
Even smaller than Australia, for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that played a factor into it as well. And the fact that they're already on an island, to be honest, it must not be hard to close borders on that front too. So I'm sure, again, there are a lot of things that play to their advantage. Finally, after all these decades, something works to Australia's advantage.
Population succeeded, you know?
I'm going to come right back. But before I go, I wanted to mention to you guys my vote that I did for whether or not so does a new MCU fan need to watch every MCU film to date? And the score was, with 20 votes, a 50-50 split. Exactly.
Wow.
So I have to I'll be right back,
okay.
But I'll let you guys discuss it. But my opinion is people should watch as many as movies as possible. I understand if you skip some of them, that's fine. But the ones that a lot of people think you should skip are also, weirdly enough, the ones you might need to watch. Like, I know Dave was saying Thor 2. He was just like, I would skip that. And yes, I agree. For quality, I would skip it. But for the basis of the stones, that movie does reference the stones.
Can you skip any? Because each movie references something in some way. You're going to end up missing something. Now, is it the level of the thing you're missing? Is it the importance of that thing that we're judging here? Because I still think
I'm saying
you guys discuss. I'll be right back.
I would say my measurement for that. Well, first of all, I would agree. I think you have to watch. You should watch them all. They're all good movies.
But why do you think you should? Like, do you truly believe that you need to watch them all? If you're asking this question, right?
I truly believe. I don't think you need. Because let's put it this way. The reason why I asked the question was because My girl basically, she wants to start watching the Marvel movies because she started watching Wanda with me. She's never watched anything before.
Okay.
And she started watching Wanda and she's like, I really like this. And like, you know, she's been asking me a lot of questions, but I know that for her, it's like, not necessarily annoyed of having to ask me questions, but she kind of already wants to know, like, so she could be more like, because she sees me react sometimes and she's like, I want to be like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
So like right off the bat, because like, let's say if we included the whole cinematic universe, I don't think anything outside the 20 movies you would have, like, I don't think you need to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Agent Carter.
No, for sure not. Like, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. initially started out being connected. I think in the first season, in some way, they mentioned the events and stuff like that. But yeah, they left that whole boat a long time ago. What was the other one? Agent Carter. It's not around anymore. You don't need to watch that.
I would say obviously all the Netflix stuff, no. Like all that stuff, no. Because it doesn't.
Okay, they're not must watch for this. Yeah, you're right. Okay, yeah.
They're not must watches for that. Should you watch them? Some seasons of certain shows you should watch in regards to the Netflix one. That's a whole other discussion. For the X-Men movies, do you really need to watch any of the X-Men movies? Currently to date, no.
But they're not MCU, so now we're moving outside of the MCU
but then you also have Quicksilver, right?
And how do you explain that? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because when I saw it, she was like, "Why are you freaking out?" I'm like, "Okay, so her brother died, and then there's and I'm like, I tried to explain the fact there was 2 movie franchises and this and that, and she was just like, "There's 2 of them. That's all you need to know."
Yeah, that's interesting. I think that part of it actually comes down to more an explanation of like why there's hype behind this. Yeah. You would actually have to go, and not that you tell her to go research. You don't tell your girlfriend, go do your research.
You want to be part of it?
Go do your research, because I don't want to have to explain every single thing that's happening here to you. But just explaining that, like, in terms of characters, there's intellectual properties, and at some, like, you kind of have to go through that whole history of Disney losing intellectual properties because they were going broke, so they sold off some characters, not Disney but Marvel. And then Fox ended up owning these. Like, you will have to do that explanation, but in order for her to understand what's happening in the universe so far, I think if you want to be really, it's hard for me to say because I'm so invested that I don't think you should skip anything.
Exactly, right? That's my opinion too. But like, if you were to go, so, but here's my question: if you had to choose, because like obviously our answer is you should watch them all. They're all very good movies. But which ones could you say, if you didn't watch this, you would, like, basically, you want to understand Endgame,
right?
The Infinity Wars, Endgame, and WandaVision. That's what you want to understand. What movies could you skip? Now, my argument is the following.
Okay.
You could easily skip, well, not easily, but I could explain why I think you could skip definitely Iron Man 3.
Before we continue, Dan Crowder says recap vids on YouTube helped fill gaps for me at times. So I think that's also not a bad way.
It's also a good option.
Right. You might want to actually look into that as well. Before I post what Omar says here, I'll let you go. Go ahead.
Yeah. But I'm saying Iron Man 3 is definitely not required. I don't think Hulk is Incredible Hulk.
No. Okay. That one you can skip.
That one you could skip because the only thing that technically gives you is like what the fact that Hulk exists and that they found him on the run, which is
how the movie ended for sure. 100%.
So I think
you're right. That's also his modus operandi. When you look at like Hulk as a whole and how his origin story starts, he's always on the run somewhere.
He's always on the run.
Or sorry, not even on the run, just in hiding.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think Guardians 2 you could skip.
Guardians 2. Oh man, I don't know.
I don't think there's much there. You learn about the universe maybe a bit more, but technically what you learn doesn't affect your opinion about anything.
You're right, because the second one really focuses on like the father-son relationship, right? With him and Ego. And yeah, I'm trying to think if it's true, because they kind of take place, it seems like, yeah, they seem separate. They do seem separate. Yeah.
And I'll also say this very boldly, technically none of the Spider-Mans.
The Iron Man connections, the Iron Man,
other movies. He becomes he's known about Spider-Man because of Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
He's struggling with the concept of Iron Man dead because of Endgame. So you technically don't need, and the outcomes at the end of those movies is that the first one is he made relations with some people. That's essentially it. And he established a bad guy.
But the thing is, how do you explain Spider-Man's involvement once those movies come about?
Well, Civil War.
God damn it. Yeah, you're right.
So technically,
Civil War is probably the only one that you would need to understand. Sometimes Spider-Man drops in. That's true.
And it's funny because I would say the Spider-Man movies are probably some of my favorite movies out of the franchise, but technically, to understand the end, you don't need those ones. And I would also say,
Jay Grizz brings up a fair point here. He says, we don't know what's coming in the future. We have no clue where they'll go back and take from. So just to be safe, you should watch everything. Which makes sense because they do a lot of callbacks. We're actually, as fans, always ourselves going back and going, well, remember when they did this back here? Oh, that's how that connects, right? So but then again, that's as a hardcore fan.
Exactly.
That's as someone who grew up with this, and you want to see those little Easter eggs and those things that they put in these shows and movies. So I think as a casual, there are things you can skip. And Omar said, leading up to Civil War, I had my wife just watch Cap 1, 2, Iron Man 1, Avengers 1 and 2, and she was fine and totally on board after that. So I could see that because the Thor movies, again, also feel kind of separate, aside from the Loki and the Tesseract, which is easily explained in the Avengers, the first Avengers movie as well.
Because that's the thing is like some movies are just there so that you know that those characters exist.
Mm-hmm.
Like even Miss Marvel, arguably you don't need she doesn't. She does tell you why certain things exist today, but you don't need to know why S.H.I.E.L.D. has.
No, we didn't need her origin. We didn't need that Captain Marvel movie in order to actually understand why she comes in. Oh, Nick Fury met someone in the past that he called for help. Boom. Yeah. So technically, you don't need that Captain Marvel movie, but you do because in Phase 2, a lot of those things from Captain Marvel movies are going to start connecting with Monica Rambeau and all these things coming in, right?
But what I'm saying is that, like, example, I feel that my girl's going to eventually watch them all for sure. Mm-hmm. But if she's like, I want to know what I want to know now. If we start watching another show, I need to watch one. Like you could watch. Like I would say there's roughly maybe let's say 10 of them that you need to watch.
Yeah, I'm okay with Thor 2 being out of there. For the time being. But the thing is, it is hard to go back and watch something like that.
Exactly.
Because it's not a great movie.
Yeah, but she doesn't know that.
Well, now she does if she's watching
I've already told her. I'm like, there's certain movies I'm not going to watch with you. And she's looking at me, I'm like, you don't watch Iron Man 3 alone.
That's great. You know what's funny about Iron Man 3? I actually think it's a sleeper for me. I kind of liked Iron Man 3. I did. I kind of like Iron Man 3. I know a lot of people were like put off with the whole, like, the ending. Pretty much put a lot of people off.
Well, what I'll say is about Iron Man 3 is I'll say this. Iron Man 3 has moments. But the problem is that the counter bad moments for me they're too sour. Like example, his entire interaction with that little kid who saves his sanity. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, I'm sorry, that whole kid dynamic. I'm like, I got it, but I'm like, this is ridiculous.
You know what though?
With Mandarin. Hate what
as I'm thinking about it, I kind of like that. I like Ben Kingsley in that role though.
Oh, I think Ben Kingsley would have been a great real.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. A lot of people are mad at the what's it called? What's that thing called when you not deflection?
Smokes and mirrors.
Whatever. Anyway, something along those lines. Yeah. But I was just thinking about the fact that maybe you should watch all the movies because of the post-credit scenes and the mid-credit scenes, because they use those to connect the movies in some way. So
some of those are more important than the actual
movie. Exactly. So it's a really hard, really tough question to answer, I think. But I might be okay with Thor 2. What was the other ones you said? Maybe, possibly.
Well, I definitely think Iron Man
3
2 and 3. I think Iron Man 2, it's a great movie, but you don't need it. Like, there's nothing that's added as far as I know, or as I can remember, I should say. Iron Man 3, technically the Spider-Mans, Guardian of the Galaxies 2, definitely Thor. I think even Thor 3 to a certain degree.
No. Because
there's too many characters and little things in Thor 3. You'd have to watch it, but.
I would argue maybe even Ant-Man isn't necessary. The first one.
Yeah, but my argument with that is that you're not going to watch Ant-Man 2. You're going to watch Ant-Man 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, you're not going to jump into a movie where you don't know anybody and they clearly know everybody. You know,
it needs to make sense. And like Ant-Man 2 is important to the whole, like towards the end of the phase because
without Ant-Man 2, Ant-Man 2 didn't happen. Endgame would just there would be no Endgame. It'd just be dead.
There would be no Endgame. Literally,
it would just be dead.
That
movie and that mouse are the two most important things in the entire movie.
What about no, that's true. Actually, the first two Spider-Man, I'm just thinking now, and I'm like, you're right. Like even the second one that I think connects the most, the only reason I think it connects is because of the cliffhanger at the end.
But even the cliffhanger at the end,
it still lives in the same Spider-Verse for now.
To date, it has no effect.
Yeah, you're right.
Like it's weird that way, but to date, it has no effect. I definitely think. I wonder. Well, to answer your question about the Tesseract, Captain America 1 definitely addresses that. So it's one of the first things. You could arguably take away Thor 1 then.
I'm trying to think back to Thor 1. I actually liked Thor 1. I liked it mostly because of like he had a crew, you know, Lady Sif. I forget the other two now, but anyway. Yeah. Oh man.
Maybe Captain America 2 you could skip. Does it do anything?
No, that's Winter Soldier.
Yeah, but Winter Soldier technically that's only a problem with.
No Bucky. Man, you can't. And which leads to Civil War. You can't skip Winter Soldier. Are you kidding me? No, there's no way.
I was wondering. I'm asking the hard questions, Toby.
I guess so. I'm sorry for making you feel like it was a stupid question.
No.
But yeah, I think the ones you listed are probably the only fair ones to actually skip. If she really was like wanted to just get down to it, but at the same time, those recap videos might be better than skipping those things. Is another point.
No,
because you want to rewatch these movies too. Deep down.
I know she's listening, and I don't care. I'm slowly converting her to nerdism. I swear.
So wait, she was never into this before?
No, I asked her to watch WandaVision because I was like, "Yo, I really want to watch this," and because of COVID, we live in separate places, so I was at her place, and I'm like, "Look, something came out today. I know it's gonna get spoiled. Like, no tomorrow." Can I watch this hour-long episode? Because it was the 2 episodes for the first show. She's like, yeah, I'll watch them with you. And by the end, she's like, this is pretty dope. I'm like, really?
If you understood what was happening, it's even more
because
dope.
Before I started it, I was like, okay, like, so this is what it is. And I briefly explained to her like what the Avenger movies were about and stuff. And I just said like, so this is the aftermath of one of the big fights. And this girl is... got these powers and this guy has these powers, and last time we checked this guy was dead. So like,
okay,
what happened?
How do you explain her powers and her, you know, how she got to this point and what motivated that? I feel like a lot of that also comes with comic book lore, right?
Oh, of course, but I basically
you're more patient than I am because I literally started watching this on my own. I was like, I'm just gonna watch WandaVision through on my own, and then I'll watch it a second time with her, so that way I've gotten my enjoyment out of it. I'm okay with watching things twice. I love it. I'm actually okay with it, especially if it's something I enjoy.
To be honest, I kind of wish I started watching it twice, just in general, back to back, because like there's so many. WandaVision is one for us. It's like there's so many Easter eggs, but even even with her, since she's like. New perspective, right? She's even pointing things out that like that's weird. I'm like, that is weird, and I know now why that's weird, and that kind of makes sense. Good eye. Like you'll give her a pat on the back.
here's a message just for you as we're speaking. For those listening, Dave's girlfriend said, I took notes and I'm now convinced to watch them all. Dave, get ready to answer my questions. I'm glad. I'm happy this is happening. But it's funny because when you brought this up, we all said watch it twice because that's what we do. It was just like, wait, what do you mean? Just watch it on your own and then watch it with her too. That's what we thought that's what we do because it's easier to just do it that way. But actually, yeah, for me too, Paige has been pretty good at. She enjoys the movies as well.
Well, I mean,
the thing is, I start to like nerd out as I'm watching it, so I might get so into it that I'm like trying to explain everything that's happening, and that doesn't make it enjoyable for the person that you're watching it with, which is why it's actually not bad to watch it on my own first and geek and nerd out as much as I want on my own, and then when she asks questions as she's watching it, I can pause and go, well, okay, this is why this is happening. Let's play again. Because you can't really be doing that and watching it for the first time. You probably you put your foot down.
But but I think for the most part she'll enjoy it in the sense that like, I mean, the Marvel movies, they've made billions of dollars for a reason. They're not just entertaining to just you and me, you know? So like I told her, I'm like, they're just different array of action movies. Some of them are funny, some of them are serious, and some of them are just action. Like Avengers 1 is just beating the crap out of people.
Agent. Oh, that's cool. Actually, I can't even zoom into it, but whoever, if you guys are watching, Devin has a picture of his profile picture with Agent Simons from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I like that tag team actually. Do you watch SnowPiercer?
I did not yet.
The TV show? Oh, okay. Like at all? Not even the first season?
No, I haven't watched it at all yet. No,
okay. You have to put that on your list. It's so good. Such a good show. And like your favorite actor is in it this season, so it's only fair that you start watching it.
Favorite actor? I don't. Who's this?
Sean Bean.
Sean Bean. No, I remember
the moment. I think we said this last week, but the moment I saw him on screen from the first shot in this new season, I was like, "Oh, come on, guys, we know what's gonna happen here."
Oh my God. I remember when I was catching up because I was behind on Game of Thrones 2.
Yeah.
So when I started watching it, I was watching seasons 1 through 6 to get ready for 7 or to start into 7. And then I had seen a lot of pictures of the recent cast. I was like, okay, cool. And then like I see Sean Bean in the first episode. I'm like, but oh man, this is a ticking time bomb. How long do they wait to pull the trigger?
You know what? So what show solidified it for me as to like, oh, okay, like he's relegated to this now was Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah.
The moment it was such a good show. I was never into shows like that too, by the way. But the moment he actually like showed up on screen, and I remember the movies he'd done before, I was like, nah, they're not gonna. He has such a cool role, but I never actually read Game of Thrones or anything like that. So I think people who actually like knew about it already knew whoever was playing this role was gonna die, whereas I didn't. So it was kind of like a shocker that you kill off such a big actor who had such a big role. I felt in the first like few episodes of the first season, right? But his death was supposed to be the catalyst for everything going bad, I think, right?
But the whole thing about that though is even when you're because I remember watching it, even within the first 5 episodes, I'm like. Because I remember there was like something when you saw the moment where you knew there was a secret about one of the kids.
Oh, right.
Related to the family. I'm like,
right,
man, like it's legit. As of that moment, I'm like, it's a legit ticking time bomb until he dies because he's gonna take that secret to the death. Like I knew it
the grave
right away. I was like, you're not gonna.
It was still a shot. Like, I think that the episode where again, if you haven't watched Game of Thrones by now, like I'm not even gonna say spoiler.
Oh,
but
no,
when he actually gets executed, from that moment, I was like, this show is for real. Like that was such a crazy moment. And I think, man, I'm so. It makes me go back to the last season. How much I'm disappointed as to how it ended. They just rushed it, and now where are those two guys? They had a deal, right, with another. They had a
Star Wars deal, and that went sour, I think.
Which is why they were rushing to end Game of Thrones, I think, right at the same time.
Yeah, exactly, and like.
Because it's such a great lesson, though, right? And the grass is always greener.
But the thing about that show, I just hate that it's relegated to like the same concept of Lost, like because ironically,
which one?
Game of Thrones, in the sense that, like, example, my girl also she started to watch Lost recently, and I started to laugh, and she's like, "What?" I'm like, "Do yourself a favor, watch seasons 1 to 4, and then just make up whatever ending you want after that point. Just make it up because the last 2 seasons are so bad." And I find that's the same thing with Game of Thrones, except for it's only the last season. Like, because I remember at the end of season 7 of Game of Thrones, I was really excited. I'm like, she's finally back home. Like the last episode.
I know, man. It was so nice. It was so nice to see things finally coming together, and you're expecting this big epic finish, which is why it was such a disappointment and a letdown. Yeah. And like we should be used to this now. They might even screw over Netflix next, right? Because they had to deal with HBO for Game of Thrones. They kind of just said they didn't want to continue, wanted to rush it because they had a $200-300 million deal with Disney to start the whole a new Star Wars franchise, which they also I don't think that was worth 200. I think the Netflix deal was worth 200. So they left the HBO the Disney deal, the Disney deal to go to Netflix. So who knows what's gonna come next? And are they gonna let Netflix
like I don't understand. How do you jump around like do you get a bit of money and you're like, okay, since I got my upfront that you can't take back, I'm gonna go to another place? Like how does that work? Because like
I think there might be a certain period of time where you're able to renege on your contract, I would assume.
You still got expense. Well, I mean, I guess when you make Game of Thrones money, you don't have to worry about your expenses anymore.
Yeah, what is Game of Thrones money? How much is DB Weiss and is it Benioff? Is the other guy? How much are they worth? That's what I would like to know.
I feel like I'd cry. I want that.
Yeah, I don't bother looking those things up. But since we're actually in the MCU, before I want to go back, because you've been watching Wandavision, and unluckily for us, Skinny and Doc seem to have time right after they watch it to talk about it, so we don't we don't get to join on their 10-minute discussion recap of the previous episode. So you watched the last episode.
Yeah,
I would assume by now. Thoughts?
I'm really debating whether or not Quicksilver might be not her construct.
Dude, okay. So last week when we were talking about this, towards the end, we asked each other, like, do we think this is the X-Men, blah blah blah? And I don't think he is.
I don't know.
And I said that, and even after watching this episode, I believe it even more. I think someone else created a different version of him because there is no body. I think Marvel is just using this Pietro as like fan delight, but it's not going to be X-Men Pietro as we know him.
Because it could also potentially be Mephisto himself, because if you look at how the hair is, like although the hair is designed like the old way, technically it makes horns.
Okay, did they ever? So here's another part that like I started reeling back myself is that I don't know if Disney or Marvel ever like came out and said Mephisto is behind everything. I think because of the way things have gone, and again we're wrong like 80-90% of the time as fans, to be honest, with our theories online.
Yeah, but there's too many 6 references.
Way too many. Even in that episode, he calls the kids demon spawns. Like, so it's either they're sadistic bastards and dropping clues to something that we'll never see, or it's exactly what's happening. But with Quicksilver, I also mentioned last episode with Monica Rambeau is that I do believe that Wanda is the one giving people powers. Which again, the episode after I said that was confirmed that her molecular structure is changing every time she goes through the barrier.
Yeah, that's right? True. They confirmed that. So now we know for a fact Monica Rambeau is Monica Rambeau.
Yes, and she's about to go through it a third time.
My very large-reaching theory is completely out the window. I'm not going to repeat it.
You tried. That's the whole point. That's why we're here.
But I'm really curious about whether or not he's like, is he somebody else? I think the only 2 answers could be she did pull him from an alternate universe, or he might be another person, potentially Mephisto. Who knows?
Okay.
And I only say Mephisto because there's some time
when theory though. When you say the hair looks like horns.
No, that's kind of why I wanted to reel it back a little bit and let's not get too carried away with our Mephisto.
There's certain scenes where like how his face
like the demon spawn line was a clear like whoa.
But is that a reference to maybe she's a demon?
It's again, exactly.
Yeah.
But out of all the clues we've had so far, no. But he's just like
I'm theorizing. At this point, one of the things that I'm trying to figure out is, first of all, I agree with you, Toby. I don't think he's the X-verse. The version of Quicksilver at all. I know some people were annoyed with that because I posted that in one of my like nerd groups, and they're just like, "Well, timey-wimey multiverse stuff," and I'm just like, "Yeah, but he has memories from when they were kids."
Exactly.
Like it doesn't make sense. Why would you? And then the other thing I added to that was the lamest thing you could do would be to introduce mutants for the first time on this Earth as a kind of a lame construct built from Earth 19999 and Earth 10005, which is the X.
So saying that though, I also said last week that Wanda was the reason Monica was getting her powers. Wanda is creating mutants. Do you now agree with that? After seeing the last episode, not creating, but she's doing something too. Well, she is creating. I'm just gonna say she is.
I'll give you points because I think she is causing mutations.
Yes.
When people are going in and out of the hex, it's causing mutations through the alteration. But
what do you think is gonna happen to Darcy though?
Oh, have you seen the memes? Everyone showing the two broke girl memes and being Darcy inside.
Oh, the second.
Oh my god,
that might happen. She might be like a waitress.
Yeah, they're showing pictures of her as a waitress, being like, "It's Darcy inside the." I was like, "You guys are so silly." I think Darcy. I'm hoping Darcy doesn't forget everything. I'm worried because we know that when people go in, they seem to be under her control. Mm-hmm. Monica, however, didn't seem to be under her control because Monica was under her control because when she got out,
she said that Wanda protected me on the way out. Like I could tell you could have killed me. Pretty much is what she said, but you protected me on the way out.
Yeah. Which is, that's one of those things that makes me think that Wanda isn't fully in control of this situation.
Exactly.
No, but the last episode made it clear that she's been using. Correct. My theory about when some of the things that was happening in the last episode, because you had a lot of people who were just frozen in general.
The hell's weird.
Like they were just not moving. Yeah, I think that for her, the concept of fatigue is starting to settle in. Because if you notice at the beginning of the season, everything was like this, and if she didn't like something, it was automatically fixed.
That's interesting. You know.
That's a fair point. Because with Vision, when Vision said, "Oh, I'm doing," remember when he tells her, "I'm going to do the neighborhood watch," and she's like, "That's not what you're supposed to do," and he's just like, "What do you mean?" And she didn't change.
He's trying to like test her. Yeah.
Why didn't she change anything? Is something I find weird because I was just like, why did she change that?
But
what's funny about those questions? She's what?
Like, because she ends up asking the guy, "Oh, where is Vision?" And he's like, "Oh, he wasn't on watch tonight." Hypothetically speaking, if she's controlling everyone, she should have known that he wasn't on the watch list.
Yes.
Maybe.
I'm wondering if her power is that omnipotent in the sense that like she controls them, but she's not the one guiding them like a god, like what they do.
Potentially.
She's not aware of everything they write. She just has them playing roles. They're like NPCs.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. She has to be around that sort of like they have to fit the scene that she wants to play out.
Yeah.
Otherwise, she doesn't care about them, which is what leads me to in a couple episodes. Wu was the one asking the questions as fans that we had. And then in the last episode, Pietro was the one going, like, why children? Why now?
Yeah,
how come you didn't have children? Yeah, so these are all questions we have. Like,
So, Skinny and I touched on that stuff. If you guys haven't watched it yet, please go check out on our. Oh, by the way,
I have.
You watched it? It's also on. Skinny and I do it on Twitter now. We do it live on Twitter. Yeah, so if you guys follow at Geektastic Cypher on Twitter, when we do the recaps on Fridays in the evening, you can watch it. And, if things go well, we might turn that into a segment for all the MCU shows because, as we know now, you're going to have WandaVision, then Falcon and Winter Soldier, and then Loki in May. And then Miss Marvel later on in the year, Hawkeye at some point. Like Disney Plus is planning some really smart releases so that people are like, you know what? Let me just pay for the year now instead of doing month to month like I had hopefully planned.
And it's funny because the release date, it's like they're making it TGIF Marvel. That's what they're doing. It's essentially what they're doing.
Yeah,
interesting.
I can see that. I mean, Disney has content for days, so. Them projecting, Netflix doesn't tell us what they're going to release. Actually, well, they did this year.
Well, they tell you.
I was going to say normally they don't tell us what their release schedule is and what's coming out that year and stuff. So that in itself is enough to bring people to your platform.
Yeah. Guys, other stuff that we're going to be discussing. View the Right Thing. You guys just brought up WandaVision, but we have a whole bunch of other shows. I heard you guys talking about Snowpiercer. Toby, did you want to talk about Snowpiercer again? Because I watched it. I'm caught up.
And, you are caught up. To episode 4? 4?
I'm caught up again. Yeah, man. I'm caught up. Yeah, I think, 4.
Yeah.
So for anyone who hasn't watched it yet, anyone who hasn't been watching Snowpiercer, once again, I 100% agree with Toby. Go check out the show. Go watch it on Netflix. Go catch up. It's super interesting. Season 1 was well done. I don't know how true they are sticking to the comic book. I never read the original comic book. It's a French comic book that got translated and has been pretty popular. It's one of those like classic sci-fis, people say. It has a really detailed story too, from what I understand. But the show is doing such an interesting version of the story that I gotta say, I'm on board. What's your impression?
I'm very on board. I would definitely recommend watching the movie first because it's completely different. It's its own thing.
Yes.
Just so you can separate that from your mind a little bit. Yeah, I think I'm thoroughly enjoying. Not enjoying. I want to find out why people are so maniacally in love with Wilford.
Yes. Like, okay. Yes. Honest, Sean Bean, the man, Mr. Bean himself. Yo, like if ever there was an example of God complex and narcissism on a level you've never seen before, his character, like at one point in the last episode, he just assumed things were going to fail. For the like, not to spoil, but there's a big thing that's happening in season 2, and we're waiting to find out if the big thing worked. And as he's telling, like they're going over to the other train, and he's telling people, "I can't wait to witness the failure." And it's just like, what the hell? Like, and he's like full on celebrating the failure, like he's already prepared to enjoy watching the failure. And I'm like, I don't understand.
I didn't get it actually. The fact that he was so, which is crazy, and it just goes to, I'm invested. The fact that he started saying it's going to fail and him being the villain and it only being episode 4 and, you know, not having any insight to what's happening with Melanie, I'm thinking it is going to fail.
Yeah.
And then the next couple episodes, we're going to actually see like Melanie struggle to try to contact, but
no, it just can. Yeah, it worked.
Succeeded.
Yeah.
But he made me believe.
I like that a fictional character had you believing in the failure of the fictional world.
How crazy is that?
Yeah, he has. I mean, I know people don't love it, but he has big dick energy. Like the man he really does.
Everyone that he comes across. That's why I'm saying I could see that. I see him providing them with a safe haven from the planet going to shit. He saw what was going to happen. Him and his scientists and engineers came up with a solution. They made a solution, only saved a few thousand people, whatever the number was, but people were saved. So those people owe their lives to him. I get that. The continuing adoration. Though, the it's Jesus-like.
Yeah. It's a religion.
It is a religion.
Yeah, he is worshipped. Like that's one of the things you find out on the show. Like on the train, there is a faction of people who, and as you can imagine, and you know what? I'll say this: I was actually really excited to see how they were going to address religion in the series because they hadn't really done it so far. So in this season, for them to explain that, like, this is the teacup, and the teacup is like this holy altar, and depending on what religion you are, the teacup signifies different things. And I was just like, wow, very interesting. But then with the Willards and the people who worship him and Wilfords, thank you, apologies. And then like the fact that they have like their hand symbol and it's like a whole thing. And I was just like, I'm starting to think was it a dream? I had a dream that the girl who had the incident was actually part of a faction of Wilfred fans who did it to herself on purpose.
Oh,
dude, I watch so much TV that my brain sometimes starts to piece movies and TVs and things together because I was just like, honestly,
that would have been an interesting angle, but that angle got sold out with the fact that she attacked the Breachman. That she thought did it to her. But
super quick nod. The fact that the Breachman says, "I've known him since he had me working on his bridge
back in Serbia."
Yeah, that's like that means he's been planning some of this stuff for a very long time.
So, which also leads so many questions. Leads me to the thing of like the people who are loyal to him and the people he handpicked. But didn't he handpick everyone?
Yes, pretty much. Well, I mean, some people bought tickets on, so those people are loyal to him because he gave them a chance to survive. All the staff, it seems like he handpicked himself, though. So those people, I would think, are loyal. And then you have all the tailies who are the people that snuck on. And the tailies,
which is why I don't. It'll be tough for Leighton to get any sort of control. Then he has none.
Exactly. One thing that I'm a little my one comment, and then I'll stop and I'll let you continue. But I don't like the way that the show drops plots from season 1 to season 2.
What was dropped?
Remember the new detective for season 2, the blonde one,
right?
What happened to her partner that she married and all that stuff?
Right. She moved out and we don't see her anymore.
Exactly. Right. Even though it's a train, you can't go anywhere. Like,
matter of fact, something happened this episode, and I thought her partner was going to walk in on. It didn't happen.
Exactly.
So anyway,
and then the other thing is, and they brought him back this episode, but where the f has Miles been?
Oh, he looks like a new kid.
It's because he's grown up. Like when
he's grown up a lot from last season.
When you cast someone and you film the first season and then you film this season, like kids grow so quickly. Yeah. So you can tell they haven't used him for so long that he looks like a full grown ass teenage boy now compared to a child.
Yeah, when they brought him back, and I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Oh, sorry.
I'm supposed to emotionally buy into the fact that you're crying that your mom's going away, but you weren't there this whole time. Right. Like that part was like that part was not as but it's fine if they're willing to, if they're trying to bring him back in some way to the story now, that's fine. I'm okay with that.
I mean, he's working on the life support. The fact that if they do start to again, no spoilers. But when they start,
I mean, the whole premise of Snowpiercer is that the world is frozen over. It's constant, horrible winter, frozen. There's nowhere that's habitable on Earth, and these people on these train are holding out the hope that one day, once the train goes around the Earth, or is it? Yeah, it goes around the Earth pretty much in a circle nonstop.
Yeah, it like connects at the top over the what's it called? The Mariana Trench? No,
Mariana.
What's the connection between North America and Russia called? I always forget the name.
Fuck, I don't know. Whatever that is.
Hit us in the comments, guys. Hit us. That's the fact there's so many of you. Once again, that's everybody who's tuned in. But whoever can figure that out, let us know. But yeah, the fact that the train crosses that bridge, and they even say in the last episode, it hasn't been. They were never able to do anything since the last ice age, and then everyone laughed. And I'm just like, only in this world would you laugh about the impending.
Oh, yes. One of the characters said these two parts of Earth, these two continents, or these two pieces of land haven't been connected since before the last ice age. Yeah. So they're also saying, like, thanks to Wolford, the Earth is more connected, and he built a bridge between these two pieces of land, and that's why. So anyway, they're hoping that they can keep going around this train until the Earth is habitable again. And this season, we start to potentially see a glimpse of that possibility at some point, but we don't know when or how or who or any of those things. So without giving away too much, please go watch the show. It's so good.
Yeah,
it's
strong
so
recommendation.
Yeah.
I have one show that I wanted to recommend to people, and I feel like, as Canadians, we don't get to talk about Canadian series as much as often as we do. We've seen the success of Schitt's Creek, Little House on the, what was it? Little Mosque on the Prairie, which was the other one that did really well.
Kim's Convenience.
Kim's Convenience, yes. So we don't often, like, as Canadians on the CBC, we don't see those shows pop off as much. But this one's pretty funny. Pretty Hard Cases, which was originally supposed to be called Lady Dicks, is a... I know, it's hilarious.
I don't know why that made me laugh.
That was the point.
You know why.
Exactly. That was the point. The show is a joint venture between CBC and NBC Universal International. And I remember when I looked it up, I was just like,
joke now?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They're lady detectives, and so the joke is Lady Dick. And they do a good job with it.
The cases are hard, but it still plays on the. Okay, all right. Yeah. It's a clever change of name. If that was the original intent,
I'm wondering if it, because I guess
which came first. No pun intended.
Pretty Hard Cases is the current name of the series. The original name was Lady Dicks, and I'm wondering if they had to change it because in Canada you can get away with the name Lady Dicks. We would have been able to, but I don't think you could get away with it in the States. And I think the show is being picked up in the States.
They could.
What platform is it on?
It's on CBC currently, and I'm guessing it's going to end up playing somewhere like maybe on Peacock because it's NBC Universal. NBC Universal International is the partner producing it with the CBC. So I'm guessing maybe. I like the show. I like the cast. We have Meredith McNeil, who plays Samantha Wazowski. She dresses like Ellen and plays the like straight-laced, boneheaded cop. Like she kind of follows the rules too much to a T. But our breakout star in this is Adrian C. Moore, who's Kelly Duff, who's from Orange is the New Black and is just killing it as the like kind of.
I know her. She was friends with like that whole Crazy Eyes crew, right? In Orange is the New Black.
Yeah, she played Cindy Hayes. She was also in The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt as Cindy Hayes when they had a crossover episode, and she was in Shaft as Miss Pepper. Dude, I'm telling you, on this show, she's hilarious. She does a great job. She's such an interesting character. She really has the acting chops. Like, you watch the show and you're just like, oh, you weren't given enough of a platform on Orange is the New Black, is what I'm on. You gotta start
somewhere, though, right?
Of course. Don't get me wrong. It gave her the launching pad for her to have a whole bunch of other shows lined up, because once you do a show like Orange is the New Black and it gains so much popularity, people are going to come knocking at your door, and it gives you the opportunity to do stuff like this where you get to shine more. And she is shining. That's the thing. Some actors might take the opportunity to shine more and then not actually do anything with it. She's coming in strong. The other thing, for all of you super geeks out there, for all you cartoon heads, Tara Strong, the voice of almost every cartoon you've ever watched, is one of the villains in the show.
Tara Strong
is the voice of, like, I'm going to give you the list in a second because it's loading right now. But if you can think of a cartoon, she's done the voice on the cartoon. She's the voice of, her and Cree Summer are essentially the two most prolific female voice talents in the industry that I can think of.
Ooh, what about wow, the worst moment for me to forget her name, because I always know her name. But she plays the female on Archer, man.
Aisha Tyler?
Oh, I know this person.
Tara Strong, you ready for what Tara Strong has been in? Powerpuff Girls, My Little Pony, Fairly Odd Parents, Teen Titans Go, DC Superheroes, Woody Woodpecker, American Dad, Unkitty. Let's see. Let's keep going.
Okay, so she's okay.
Rick and Morty. I'm telling you, Tara Strong is the voice that, like, she played Tara on Young Justice. She played.
I was about to say that's yeah. She plays her namesake.
Rick and Morty. She's on Red. She did Superman Red Sun. She was the young Superman voice. That's so unique. Yeah,
she legit is the voice. Like, when you think,
I haven't even gotten down.
But that's what I'm saying. If you're a geek, this is the opportunity to see her in her acting chops. Because it's one thing to do voice acting for every cartoon and for every animated series that we can think of. It's another thing to see someone who's done that acting. And I got to say, when I saw her the first time and I knew it was her, I was just like, this is going to be weird. It pulled me out of the scene for a second, and then she laid into her character, and I was just like, oh no, she's got it. She's good. So I'm telling you guys, if you're looking for, no, Dave, don't give people the whole list, man. Just let people go find it on IMDb. Because her list,
how many years of experience does she have? Like 10 years? You're gonna be going through a lot.
No. I went to go see what she first did, and what she first did was My Pet Monster. She had the Madeline movie. She did Hello Kitty, Care Bears, and like Babar and shit.
Yeah,
so, like,
since she was a kid,
as of like 11 years old.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, her career starts in like the 80s. That's what I'm telling you.
No, she was a garbage pail kid. I hated that.
But that's what I'm saying.
Those things were freaky, man.
Why would you open up this can of worms? Like, why would you do this?
But I'm actually hoping that Cree Summer shows up and that they have a scene together, because Cree Summer is a Canadian Canadian actress, and I'm secretly hoping that they get they do a scene together, because to have those two voice actors together on live doing a scene together would be super dope. That's my thing. But anyways, that aside, Tara Strong is a distraction from the fact that the rest of the show is solid. And also, if you're another level of nerd, the kid playing the son for the lead character was the kid from oh damn, I just forgot the name. Oh, Gifted, the mutant show. The blonde kid who turns Stryker, who turns bad.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
He's playing the son. And yeah, so like this is a fun show. Like the two cases they've done so far, the show is kind of a blend of buddy cop / comedy / it's kind of dramatic, but it's fun. So
can I go back to Gifted for a second? I was just thinking, like, what happened? What happened to that? Like, there are so many connections being made there as well.
That is one of the roughest cancellations too, because that died because of the Disney deal.
Oh, really? So it went Netflix.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's it, right? Like, if Disney's buying the getting back their properties, they don't really want other versions of the universe that they're trying to build out there. So
that's deep. That's deep.
And
regardless of following.
Yeah. Well, season 2 had already dropped off a bit. That was the other problem. It had already started dropping. But it was, I mean, as fans, Gifted wasn't a bad show, and it was interesting when we saw them finally use their powers together.
Yeah, man. It was what we wanted.
Yeah.
But Marvel, I think Disney's just like, we could do this better. Let's cancel this.
it was pretty cool to see that many mutants. Like that was
was
one of my favorite things about it. So
yeah, but when I see the quality of WandaVision and thinking back to Gifted, I'm going, well, okay, all right, fine.
Yeah. You know what really sucks about Disney doing so well at WandaVision? It makes every other hero show look like a CW show.
Every other one.
And then what does that do to CW shows?
Wow, that's a whole other conversation.
You watched
it makes it look like movies from like the 1980s.
No, for real. It honestly, looking at WandaVision, really the quality and the way they switch from like movie mode, you can tell it won't be a hard transition to go from the TV world to it's man. Yeah.
They're doing WandaVision.
I can't even wait for Falcon and Winter Soldier. That's gonna be
dope. That's gonna be dope.
Yo, okay, real quick. We're talking about Marvel again. Super quick.
When are we not talking about
I know.
Like if you're gonna be a nerd, you're gonna talk about Marvel.
Yeah. I know technically this doesn't mean anything, but the Cruella de Vil trailer dropped today, right? With Emma Stone. She's going to be playing Cruella in a movie. Now, I know to you it doesn't mean anything. To me, it didn't mean anything at first either. But then I realized that movie is getting a theatrical release May 28th, 2021. Black Widow, yes, it's May 28th, 2021. It's supposed to come out in theaters. Okay. Black Widow is supposed to come out May 7th in theaters. And we still haven't heard anything. That makes me wonder if you're going to start putting trailers for Cruella, which comes out May 28th, but you haven't done anything with Black Widow, it's getting pushed back again. And that's what really bothers me.
This is my problem with Black Widow. This movie is I've been saying it from the beginning. It should have came out. Just release it on the platform because I knew it doesn't have a huge tie. It doesn't have a huge tie to the universe.
It's a prequel, right? To Infinity.
Pretty much.
It's a prequel to her existence.
No,
it touches on that, but she's the Avengers. Where she's supposed to be the Avengers
at that point. Yeah,
Romanoff that we know. Yeah,
she says before I was an Avenger, and then she's talking about being an Avenger with her sister.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. This is bad.
Yeah,
I'm worried that this is going to become the new Mutants of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
No,
no,
I don't know.
I mean,
hypothetically speaking, you could release this anytime. You could release other movies and still release this after, and it wouldn't matter.
So I did kind of lie when I said that it might not tie into the larger universe. There you go. And then there's also the fact that we're going to get introduced to her sister, who may be the new Black Widow.
Who's supposed to be Elena?
Yeah. So, I don't know what they're doing, but they're just, I don't know.
I'm really, really, really hoping that they do release the movie. At this point, it is problematic that they keep pushing it back. If they push it back again, it's going to look really bad. I don't think it's a good idea. Like you said, there's so many characters. Like the whole conversation you guys were having while I was gone. every character comes into play in some way somehow. If you don't give this character or these characters their moments in the sun, you're going to end up creating a really bad situation for them.
Exactly. That's what I think. And the fact that it was supposed to come out first before all these movies or TV shows shows that there's no real way to connect it to now. Maybe that's the difficulty they're having, that everything started. But why wouldn't you release it then? Yeah, I don't know.
I think the problem also is that you have a certain I'm not blaming Scarlett Johansson in any shape or form, but like you do have her attached to it, and you want it to make a certain success because it was supposed to be like
her send-off,
and it was supposed to be like, although yes, you had the Captain Marvel film, everyone was waiting for everyone initially was expecting this to be the first female.
She's the first lady of the Avengers.
Yeah, exactly. So you have to like display her correctly. You know what I mean? And I think the concept of what happened to Tenet really shook Marvel's go-ahead button because if
they didn't want to lose money, and they didn't want to lose money on just putting it on a platform, trying to figure that out, because nothing's been released by Disney in theaters. Oh wait, Mulan? No.
Well, Mulan was released on international, but local, nationally, it wasn't like in North America. Okay.
So has Disney released anything in theaters?
Yeah, they've released other movies in theaters.
Skinny. Sorry, your mic is rubbing on your jacket. Yeah. And welcome, buddy.
Yeah.
What an entrance.
But yeah, I'm just saying I'm concerned about it. I know everyone keeps saying that it's going to flop. At this point, I think if it does flop, you can't blame the movie as much as the rollout.
Yo, and what a saving grace for ScarJo.
Yes, because no matter what, this is not on her anymore. ScarJo's not
she's been resolved of any responsibility.
She's been absolved of it for sure.
A pandemic hit, you had to bump the movie back. Then you guys bumped it again because you guys are trying to figure out what's the most opportune time to make money off of this. There was never going to be one. No one knew what was going on. We couldn't really plan for it. So you guys keep pushing.
And then Tenet went to theaters and it flopped, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Let's not do anything.
That's my thing. Tenet didn't flop. It flopped by
the numbers it expected.
Yeah,
it flopped by Nolan standards.
Exactly. And that's the thing that's messed up. The standard is so high for a movie during a pandemic that Nolan's it's like, homie.
Yo, but how high Nolan's Wolford, bro. The God level
title. Nolan is Wolford. Title.
The God level complex you must have to think your movie will beat a pandemic. Like, imagine. That's crazy.
But what if he did though?
Well, technically he won, but I think you have to outdo yourself. You have to.
Yo, any landing you could walk away from is a win, right? Like any movie that you make and you still you're not in the debt.
Yeah.
It's a success.
Yeah, it's just in the public eye. The public eye matters. The perception matters. He's gonna have to come back with like a Leo DiCaprio movie to kind of get back into that.
And now he doesn't have his studio because he's leaving Warner Brothers because he's so upset about what they're doing with the again. I mean, whatever. I'm not even going to go into it again. I'm not going to go into it. We know the reason the situation is the way it is because the movie shouldn't have come out. Warner's lost too much money. Warner had to try and figure out what to do. Warner decided to release all their movies on the streaming at the same time as in theaters. They pissed off other people. So now Nolan is leaving because he doesn't like the way they're doing things. But Nolan, the only reason they are that way is because, from what I understand, rumors on the streets, Slash Films this and Comic Book Review that and Deadline Backdoor this man used every bit of clout he had to get them to put the movie out.
Yeah,
that's the word that he want. He was just like, I don't want this to be shelved any longer. I want it out in theaters. I need to help the theaters. And everyone was just like, but you can't help the theaters.
I can, God damn it, I'm Wilford.
So that's what's up, man. That's such a crazy thing.
Damn, that's crazy. You know what movie we're supposed to be out that we don't hear anything about, and it's almost like it wasn't supposed to happen?
Which one?
The Batman.
Oh God, yeah, they've stopped talking about that
movie, eh?
Right?
Everybody got sick.
Yeah. They're still filming. They must have continued filming.
I don't know. It's been
a lot of things in Hollywood are messed up. Tom Cruise, they're not filming Mission Impossible 7 and 8 back to back. They stopped.
Yeah.
So they only filmed one.
That's because that's also just smart filmmaking.
Is it though? You already had your bubble built, so keep going.
You might as well keep going. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you might as well keep going. So it's actually weird to me that they decided not to, but
yeah, it's because of his audio clip of him yelling at the Scientologist students.
Well, like Skinny said, that was all stuff like that's all for the gram. All that stuff is just for publicity.
Oh, don't do that,
man. But the thing is, I don't know if that's the kind of publicity he wants out though, because of all the stipulations around Scientology and the fact that is the culture they push in Scientology is abuse and abusive culture.
Yeah,
it's kind of
Liam is like daily being like they abused the fuck out of me. Those assholes. So like, okay.
I mean,
and then you hear Tom Cruise yelling at a bunch of people. You're just like, and Liam Remini is like Will Smith at the Jada Pinkett thing, like just pointing, like, see.
It was on a movie set for COVID. She's like, no, this is every day.
It's just pictures of Liam Remini being like, I told you.
She's oh man, she recently said something about like just she was yelled at by Tom Cruise at one of his dinners, in front of people, and like that was just allowed and okay, and it was just jeez,
because of how high he is. It's funny, this is a perfect segue. Kevin James has a new show that just came out on Netflix. I watched the first episode
and
it sucked.
See, it looks bad. It looks like what's that show from not Norm?
Wings?
No. There was another mechanic. There's another mechanic-based show by this Titus.
Titus was gangster. Don't do that to Titus. Don't do that to Titus.
Wow, do that to Titus. Roll back on Wings. I can't believe you.
How you do that to Titus?
It looks well, that's what I'm saying. You can't make a show like Titus today. It looks horrible.
He's not wrong. The show is essentially like so real quick, homeboy like some random dude owns a car for Daytona. He's retiring. He passes the business on to his like daughter who graduated high school in 2010. So however old she is supposed to be. So wait, if she graduated in 2010, then she did her 4 years at Stanford. So she's like, what? She's like 24 or something, maybe?
Okay.
24.
And she takes over the team and is now in charge. And she's talking to Kevin James, who is actually the head mechanic of the team. And you realize, our team kind of sucks. And she's just like, yeah, I'm going to change that. And the whole show is just, I'm young and I see this as an option. I'm old school and I don't want to do things. And that's the show. And it looks like
we've seen so many of these.
So many. It's not creative at all.
I say this with respect, but I'm very over him.
Kevin James?
Do you expect anything more from Kevin James? He's poor man's Chris Farley. No. Like he's in the role.
Don't insult Chris Farley that way, bro.
I said he's poor man's Chris Farley. That's not insulting Chris Farley.
That might have to be the title.
That's like comparison to Chris. The fact that you even put his name with him.
Because I'll get at you.
Hold on. I let's put some respect on his name, though.
What do you mean? Chris Farley did 2 movies. He doesn't need that much respect.
Not Chris Farley. I'm saying Kevin James.
James.
Listen, I was a huge King of Queens fan.
King of Queens is gangster. Yeah.
Just on the strength of that alone, I have to give him his place in the pantheon of comedy shows. Sitcoms.
Yeah.
So he had a couple movies. One was pretty huge, but mainly on the name of Will Smith.
Yes, Hitch.
And he doesn't carry his own shows very well since King of Queens. I
call him poor man's Chris Farley because of his role in Grown Up, which was blatantly for Chris Farley. That's why I call him that.
That's the thing.
That's kind of well, yeah. Maybe you know what? You're probably right. He probably draws inspiration from Chris
Rock, the other dude.
No, but
those guys. That was
crew. We know that was the crew. And like Rob Schneider, it was the SNL crew. David Spade, all of them are there. and then Chris Farley is not. Kevin James was the blonde, chubby guy. Like, we know, we get it. And I'm sure Kevin James himself was just like, I'm okay with this. You guys want to pay me a couple million to be your Chris Farley stand-in? Like, that's fine.
I'll be your Chris Farley tonight. Queens,
the greatest TV show for insomniacs everywhere. Facts. You know,
very true.
But the thing that really sucks, though, for me at least, is that what he did after, because he leaves King of Queens, he gets his new show, he kills off the wife on the new show,
and then replaces again.
Yeah, and then puts Leia Remini
he brought her back
as his like police partner or whatever they were building on that show. That show gets done because everyone is just like, okay, we're tired of you. And then he comes back with this, which is more misogyny town. Like, dude, come on, you got to move away from it. The fact that Rashida Jones is working on a sitcom with the daughter from Schitt's Creek, she's gonna play the they're building a show called Fuck What Kevin Wants or something, where the whole premise of the show is the sitcom wife is the lead, and it shows how she's treated on sitcoms. And it's about, and the daughter from Schitt's Creek is going to play the wife from the show. And it's inspired by the fact that Homeboy killed off his wife to replace it with the other girl because he wanted to on his second show. And that's crazy to me. Like, they're making shows about how much of an asshole you are, and you double down with the crew where it's more of the same misogyny.
He's from the same era as the Tim Allens of the world ish, where it's just like you would hope they can break out of that mode of thinking, but it must be hard to in a new age of things where things are changing. Like the kids today don't understand his humor.
Kids today.
Right?
But Sandler is always the producer on his stuff, and Sandler's been able to make movies.
But Sandler is a big kid. He's always been a big kid. He's always just been a big kid. I think actually speaking of which, my favorite movie of Kevin James is with Sandler. Chuck and Larry.
Larry, yeah. It's funny. I actually own that movie. I liked it so much. That's fair. So I might watch it after the podcast.
I think it was like he had a good run with movies, right? Here Comes the Boom, Paul Blart.
He had decent. He had movies that critically probably weren't liked, but the average person liked it because it was just him being, again, unfortunately. And I know Dave's going to.
You're about to say Chris Farley again, aren't you?
But yeah, he was being the Farley because Paul Blart is a Farley-esque character. Yes. Let's be honest.
Yes,
that's what that is. But the movies that he does the best in are the ones where he's playing his original characters, like Here Comes the Boom or whatever, where he does the MMA fighting. That's not a Farley thing. And remember that one season of King of Queens where he got mad fit?
Yeah, that exactly. Yeah,
because he can do that, but then for some reason doesn't maintain it. So
he enjoys burgers, bro. That's all.
Shout out to Ethan Turpie, the dude from My Name is Earl, the big brother who was on Boy Meets World and My Name is Earl, who lost mad weight and is like fit again.
Oh, yeah.
That's some inspiration right there.
Wasn't he on a YTV show before? I know him from a YTV show.
Breaker High, wasn't he?
No. That's
the other guy.
Tyler Labine.
Yes.
Right.
It was on that zombie show on CW.
Yes.
What was that called? It was based on a comic?
I don't remember the zombie one, but wait, are you talking about Reaper?
Yes. No, not Reaper. It wasn't. Was it? Yes.
Yeah, Tyler Bean was on Reaper.
Reaper's not a zombie show. He's the devil's son.
Satan. Yeah,
exactly. Satan's son, and he's coming after demons. Yeah, Reaper was actually really fun. Yo, man, some of these shows from back in the day that got canceled by Fox, low key were fire. Like
they were
Fox
fire.
Gave up on shows.
Reaper was dope.
Fox didn't know what they were doing
other
for a lot of time.
Yeah, man. Anyways, he was huge in Mallrats. I'm getting.
As in, like he was fat in Mallrats.
Yeah, you're talking about Ethan. Devin is talking about to us about one of the characters. Oh, my bad. Maybe we could see because we got Mike's comment up here first. I would consider standing in for Chris Farley SNL to be an honor personally. That's facts. That's true. That's
100%.
I'm not mad. I'm not like. Chris Farley was an amazing comedian and like physically one of the most comedic and entertaining people. So if you're Kevin James and you're being given the nod to do it, go ahead. And
I wouldn't turn it down.
My only thing is that when we came up, so Farley passed when we were young, but like when we were coming up, listen, Black
Beverly Hills Ninja.
Beverly Hills Ninja movie, fine, good. But Black Sheep and the other one is the exact same movie.
Tommy Boy.
I don't like how they did that.
Black Sheep and Tommy Boy, you think are the same movie?
What do you mean, Dave?
It's Dave's
dog. It's the same movie.
Chris Farley and David Spade playing.
Don't get me wrong. It's one of their buddy movies. I wouldn't say it's necessarily. I guess.
In the sense that they're the same archetype characters in just different situations.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But I mean,
but that's the majority of.
I was gonna say that's the Rock. That's the Rock and Kevin Hart. That's every.
That's Adam Sandler. That's Adam Sandler. Mr. D.
I haven't watched a Kevin Hart and Rock movie at all.
Oh,
wait, what?
I haven't watched a Rock or Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart movie. I haven't watched a Perry Buddy movie.
Okay, hold on. Now you're going overboard. Hold on.
You didn't see Jumanji?
Only like really 15 minutes of it.
What?
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, bro.
Central Intelligence wasn't actually bad, by the way.
That one's actually a pretty good one.
Kevin Hart, I won't give him my money or my time. I can't.
Oh, okay. I can tell you. Okay, so you know how we were talking about like which MCU movies to avoid? I can tell you which Heartverse movies to avoid.
Yeah,
there are quite a few that are worth watching for sure.
Oh my god, that's hilarious!
I'll give you that.
The one that you did with Ice Cube, at least the first one was pretty good.
Yes, first one was pretty. It was decent. It was decent. I'll give it a pass.
The second one was okay, but it was only okay if you liked the first one. I wish I could remember the name of it now.
Oh, Grizz.
He's actually saying anything funny. He's not that funny. Come on, guys. I did say he was funny for this. He was funny for this.
The fact there's no such thing as funny for something. You're either funny or you're not. Right? Whether it's funny using your words or funny with physical comedy. He was a physical comedy genius. That's what makes him separate from everybody else. So
yeah,
he's not saying anything funny, but he does things that makes you laugh. Exactly. That's funny, and that matters.
Because people would say
is funny.
Jim Carrey didn't really say funny things. I'm sorry. It's just the way he said the things and how he.
I was just about to say, when Jim Carrey started, all he did was impressions and make funny faces. And then
that's what sold what he was saying.
Yeah. He's like, I didn't have stand-up. I didn't do stand-up. I was doing impersonations and acting silly. So again, same thing. If you're going to say Farley was only physical comedy, yes, that's fine. I mean,
counts, man.
Remember, we're talking about a generation of comedy that right before Farley, the dude with the fucking mallet hitting watermelons,
or whatever.
Like, this is comedy. That comedy has evolved, thankfully, and
comedy was actually around that time still evolving, right? In the clubs, and that's when all those Richard Pryor, all those guys were still like,
Could you have a Farley today? No. 100% agree with you. Jay Grizz, I agree. If you guys had a comedian right now that was just physical comedy and didn't bring anything else to the table, no one's gonna fuck with them. And that's
does that exist right now?
No, you can't do lay off me. I'm starving. You couldn't do that. You couldn't do I live in a van down by the river. You couldn't do that.
Yeah.
A lot of these things would get canceled.
Oh, dude, SNL on its own, every generation, they must know you could not do the sketches you did. The next generation. Keenan Keenan must be one of the most interesting things to see because he's seen all the different iterations of these jokes, all these sketches, the evolution of them not being able to do things, still being able to do things. So
Melissa McCarthy, you're right. Dan, you're right. Very
I was thinking Melissa McCarthy too, but I was actually thinking male the whole time. I apologize. I should have brought in my mind.
Would be able to have a role today. I just think he wouldn't be. He's support. He wouldn't make his own movies.
Okay, fine.
Damn,
but again,
that's deep.
He would be the comedic background. He's not going to be a star.
No,
and I agree with you. You can't have a star.
If you have a cop show, you have the badass cop and you have the silly cop. He's the silly cop. Like what I mean?
Yeah, but even the silly cop isn't physical.
Yeah.
Right? The silly cop is almost that's weird. Because now I'm thinking about funny guys. Not funny guys. Is it funny guys?
Well, the other guys.
The other guys. Yeah. And I'm like, well, if I think about it, Will Ferrell was kind of the straight man.
He was. Yeah.
Right?
He was. Yeah. He was the comedic straight man.
He's so straight that he's funny because but that's the point, right?
Like the whole him being serious about his wife being ugly, but it's Eva Mendes. Like,
exactly. And that's the thing. Nowadays, Kevin Hart is doing slight physical comedy.
Slight.
Like when he's doing stuff with The Rock and he's getting tossed or he gets he does the physical comedy on his level where he's the smaller package and whoever he's teamed up with is often the bigger person who does whatever they have to do.
Right.
Farley, if you were to have Farley nowadays, and rest in peace to the dude, but you wouldn't be able to do Farley style comedy from the 90s. You wouldn't be able. I mean, most of those movies just don't work now. Like you can't do Beverly Hills Ninja today. What version of you like? That's a what it is. That's a Nickelodeon show today, and that's a mess up.
Well,
all those movies from the 90s are Nickelodeon shows now. That's
I find his comedies would be more geared towards like the preteen teenager crew. Like
but the preteen teenager crew now is far different, bro. They're not us. Me growing up, I appreciate, but that's the thing. It's the evolution of it's the times.
I don't think
it's
I
the
agree
times.
with what Jay Grizz wrote here. Unlike the 90s,
I don't, which is why I didn't even put it.
And action stars. That's why The Rock and Chris Hart get everything, and they absolutely suck. I don't think they suck.
I think The Rock's not bad.
The Rock isn't terrible, but we don't have action stars, so it is a reason why he gets everything.
The reason I put it up is because the first part of what Jay Grizz said, I agree with. We don't have the comedic action stars like we used to, like Skinny was saying. But the second part of they suck. How are you gonna say $1 billion movies suck? Like combined,
no. They've made crappy movies.
Yes. Everyone's made crappy movies.
Exactly.
Can we
but the reason why it feels more on their end is because most people's movies are spread out within 10 years. They made 10 years worth of movies in like 3 years. So you saw a lot more of them.
What was that disaster movie The Rock did when you're kind of like, dog, how are you making this? And then
Rampage?
No, sorry.
He made like 4 of those.
You're right, Brian. This guy got away with Skyscraper and then put out Rampage. It's like, nigga, down.
But
did you ever watch Skyscraper?
I watched it. Skyscraper.
It was so bad, bro.
The thing about Skyscraper, though, that wasn't a movie made for us. That movie was not made for North American market. It was literally they literally wanted to make it for the Asian market, and it was just gonna be released here.
Yeah, but who was Rampage made for?
That I don't know. I never
like we just had Planet of the Apes with this crazy, amazing CGI.
Rampage was made because at the time there was no Godzilla or King Kong movie coming out, so it was to satisfy a certain niche.
What year did Rampage come out? If you say 2015, I will say Gojira came out in 2014.
No, Rampage was recent. Rampage was more recent than that.
Really?
Like 3 years ago. It was very recent.
Right. So
I'm double checking right now.
There was a Godzilla, dog.
Rampage is 2018. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Rampage is 2018.
Get the fuck out of here! What?
Holy shit!
We might have to drop that.
That movie feels so old to me. I've never seen
that's why I said we had movies like the first Planet of the Apes in CGI and capture far surpasses any scene in Rampage.
God damn. That movie is 3 years ago? What?
So what Grizz is saying is if that was The Rock 20 years ago, that you're not coming out and starring in no movie for a long ass time.
Fair.
Yeah, but here's another side to it. And I think it's for every 2 to 3 movies that you want to do, Rock, we want you to do one of these.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is what that looks like to me.
That is the deal. Yeah. I'm sure that's the deal.
So that doesn't affect your stock when you're just when you're in that kind of business.
That's because The Rock knows how to play that type of business, though. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly. He did it with
business person.
He did it with what's that kid's movie? The volcano, end of the earth.
Yeah.
I forget.
There's also that stupid kid, the Witch Mountain movie as well.
Oh my god. Okay, so that's not even the same. There's another one I'm thinking about. Like that.
I was thinking the one
Journey to the End of
that hasn't even come out yet.
No,
Disney one?
No. He has one where it's him in a Jurassic place.
The Land of the Lost?
No, it looks like Land of the Lost, but it's not Land of the Lost.
It's okay. It doesn't matter. We need to stop because this is useless. This is not even interesting. We're just saying
asking the hard questions, Brian.
Let's look at IMDb if we want to do the answer. If we don't want to, let's just
Oh my gosh, that's so good.
But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't think The Rock is as bad as people think. I just think he takes on. I agree with Toby. I think it's a lot of taking on roles that it's less like, okay, I want to produce this movie, cool, but you have to do this one. Okay, fine. And that's just how. Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of how Hollywood is. You don't get to be Nick Fury, Samuel Jackson doing Nick Fury, and all these other movies. This man has grossed. Did you guys hear the other day? They announced
Samuel Jackson. Samuel Jackson.
All his movies combined has grossed $27 billion. He's the highest grossing actor of all time.
I believe it 100%. He worked so hard early on in his career that now he gets to chill as Nick Fury. He is relaxing. Films. That's what I'm saying.
Like so many.
Yeah, he deserves to coast in this Nick Fury role. Is what I'm trying to say.
But he's also done bad movies, and that's the point. Like you get to do if you're Samuel Jackson, you get to do you get told to do a Snakes on the Plane.
Yeah, but he made a movie so bad that it was good.
He did
that it doesn't count.
He did Black Snake Moan and Smoke. Oh my God! Snakes on a Plane in the same year, you know.
Sorry, giant spider in my face, just like Django.
I was like, what? Wait, I'm like, he only said Black Snake Moan. Like, what was that reaction?
If you niggas could see this daddy long legs, will you get the hold on?
All he did was chain Christina Ricci to a radiator. It's like, wait, what? It's like, see, again, movies you couldn't do now. Mad problematic.
Oh
where
my God, it's true, huh? That's what that movie was about.
It wasn't a horror film either. Like if it's a horror film, you could get away with that. If you're doing it as just a drama and you're chaining a girl to a radiator,
you know what's interesting? It'd be good to go through movies that we watched back then and we didn't really think much of, but it must have touched us in some way and we were unaware. And just think about if that's possible to make that today.
But funny question for you guys. What is your first memory? Just because we talked about him, what is your first memory of Samuel L. Jackson? I have the answer to this, and it's going to be a movie that if you guys haven't watched, I'm going to tell you to watch.
For me, it was Coming to America because I remembered him.
Oh, shoot. Okay, I had seen him in Coming to America, didn't know who he was. Watched Die Hard, obviously, and made that connection. But I'm sure I saw something else before that.
Loaded Weapon 1, which is the spoof of the Lethal Weapon. Yeah, he's the main. He's like Murtaugh in it.
Yeah.
And when I watched that movie, I'm like, this guy is gold. And then like the next movie I saw him was Pulp Fiction. I'm like, that's a pretty drastic change.
That is insane.
I'm like, this guy's got range.
To go from Loaded Weapon to Pulp Fiction is insane. Wow, wild. Skinny, did you want to tell people about anything you watched recently, or do you want to jump to? Oh yeah, you got something? Hit us.
No, No, I don't think I really watched anything all too, great. So I'll just say that.
Kids, you know what time it is. We do it on the weekly. Geek news and rumors. You sick bastards. So this one, Gina Carano got dropped by Lucasfilm.
Good. Let's move past it. Who cares?
She's an idiot.
She tried to defend herself on this, and it's
Nope.
Well, here's the thing, guys. I actually agree with her. Like,
you want to know why I don't?
I'll tell you why I agree with her.
Wait, what she tweeted?
No, that you have freedom of speech, and that you should be allowed to say whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, just not freedom.
That's fine.
But I'm sorry.
Exactly.
If you're making Disney money, if you're making Disney money. Which you could obviously hire a publicist. And if you've already said,
but that's common sense, Dave.
No, but the thing is this isn't her first offense of saying really stupid bad, because because her message of what she was trying to say, not the metaphor she used. Remove the metaphor. If you read what she said, like when I read what she said, I was like, I get what you're saying, but why the fuck would you say it that way?
Why are we giving this bigot time?
Who cares, though?
The Last of Us HBO series cast Pedro Pascal.
No other good news.
No, Pedro Pascal being cast in the Last of Us series. This is good news.
He's the
that's the thing.
Star. That's the thing. That was my issue when I saw this, man.
No, I'm not mad at it. As I said,
I'm not mad at it, but
I'm mad at it. I don't like it.
Check this out. Pedro's old as fuck. He's getting there. When in 10 years, you won't see him again. Done. He's cashing in.
Getting his
I'm
money.
hot now. I'm out.
He's Keanu Reeves in it for sure.
He's gonna not fuck Keanu Reeves because Keanu Reeves been here. No, he's doing it. I'm popular amongst the masses. I'm gonna do my Mandalorian. Let me get an MCU role. Let me do this, and I'm out. I'm gonna go to Broadway.
Let me do a bad DCU movie just to make sure I went around the rounds.
He won't even do that. I don't even think he'll even do that.
There's no such thing as a bad DC movie.
Yeah,
they're all bad.
They're all bad. There's actually the better line is there's no such thing as a good DC movie.
I will not say anything.
Also, Zack Snyder, you need to disappear because your 4-hour stretch is looking so stupid.
What are we talking about? This trailer in this
countdown to a trailer for Valentine's Day that sucked so much, and I know some people might jump down my throat for this, but that was not an impressive trailer. Why countdown? Anyways, go ahead, Toby. I'm sorry.
Why are we? I mean, I think we're the only ones that think it's trash. By the way,
yes, we are. Yes, we are.
I've never claimed it to be trash. I'm just saying I'm not putting my hopes up high because I did that the first time and it hurt then. I don't want to hurt it that bad again.
I'm more than happy to say,
Toby,
sorry, Skinny. Sorry.
You know how we all just watched that really crappy animated movie that happened like a few months ago?
Oh,
the Justice League War?
Yeah.
You know that's what we're about to see, right?
No, we're about to see every take that he ever took that they sliced off and put on the chopping room floor. He's about to pick it back up and just glue it back on.
That's it. Why is Iris in this movie? Why are you putting it there? Why? For what? For what?
Crazy.
Oh my gosh, Otherworld Joker, he's in a SWAT vest. Who cares? Why?
Yeah.
Why?
What is the point of the Joker at the end of that trailer? What's the Joker doing in a movie about Darkseid?
Dude, what did you hear the part where everyone lost their shit because he said we live in a society?
People are quoting.
He's quoting a meme.
God, like people, calm the down. We live in a society. What? So what? They're not making more of these movies. They're not going to reboot their universe on this weird 4-hour miniseries bullshit they're putting on the streaming app. So what's the point of him saying the line and getting you all so hot and bothered? It don't mean shit. It don't mean shit. You guys just sat down and had the hot stripper shake it for you, and then they got off stage and walked away, and you're just sitting there with a hard on going, well, now what? Nothing. Nothing's happening. You're not getting anything.
That was actually funny enough. I was like, I kind of pictured that. That was a pretty clear picture.
Yeah. You know what kills me? It's that.
Oh my god!
Even if they do a Justice League movie with the whole nightmare sequence, you can't come back after that to Sunshine.
I'm sorry. First of all, it all just looks like crap. Darkseid looks like garbage.
Darkseid looks bad.
You improve the graphics on what's his name and give us a shitty Darkseid.
Yeah.
Who
is it? Who's the actual villain from the original movie? I don't remember. Yeah, like
Steppenwolf. His name's Steppenwolf. Thank you.
And people are so excited about Grandma. What's it called?
You know it's bad. Okay, you know it's bad when you see a still of an old woman, and everybody's losing their shit. That's how bad your movie is.
She's barely in it for you. You had to freeze frame for like.
Why do you have to zoom in to see Granny Goodness's face? Oh man, people are like, "Oh my God, Granny Goodness!" Yes.
What did she do? Why are we
so stupid? I'm telling you.
Oh wow! I can't believe we're getting a 4-hour movie.
And you know, listen. The worst part about this is that it's a 4-hour movie, and the Flash is still running to the wrong colors.
Yo, oh my goodness, that is, Unfortunately, I'll probably watch the first like 30 minutes to see if I want to watch the whole thing.
I'm gonna watch the movie. I'm sorry.
No, I can't.
I'm gonna watch this movie because I have to. I'll take the
you don't have
team. I will watch this movie to give it.
Okay, that's the deal. I'm not gonna watch it. You watch it, and you come back on this show and try to convince us to watch it. How about that? That's
you not to watch it. I will give it the proverbial thumbs up or the thumbs down.
That's funny.
I don't know.
Yeah, that doesn't look great.
Yeah. What's this other news? Disney subscribers to exceed Netflix.
Sorry, I got so mad that I closed the screen.
That's wild.
Oh man, sorry. That trailer made me laugh. And then I'm like, imagine 4 hours, guys. That's 2 to 3 movies. That's a good.
Yeah.
There has to be more content. If the content is not action that was missing from the first movie, it's gonna be bloat. That's the whole point. What more? What more?
Yeah.
We got an almost 3 hour long movie last time, and we got no real substance. What more substance are you expecting from an extra 45 to an hour cut in?
Did Snyder do Batman v Superman too?
I think so. Yeah,
he did.
Yeah.
So wait, people are listen. Hold on, wait. People are trusting this man again after he already released a director's cut and it was still bad.
The trailer started with the scene from Batman v Superman.
Like but Tobi, really, like you get what I'm saying.
He's like so bad. What are you doing? And you know what? I don't need to laugh at him because we understand.
I do.
What happened was unfortunate. So the reason that he left and they didn't get to finish the movie is sad. Yes. But for you to turn around and say, okay, let me redo this movie, and then to redo it this way, and all of us are like, and to have this again, I feel like it's a line of the episode, but this Wilford type worship where everyone's just like, look at the majesty of this film, and it's just like we watch the trailer, it's just like the Joker doesn't even look the same. Okay, he doesn't even have the tattoos on his face anymore. What? The Joker went in and got laser removal? What the fuck are you guys talking about? Like, what is happening? Why are we doing this?
Here's what it is. Here's what happened. Okay, so like it's starting. They're dribbling up the court. It's like fourth quarter, right? And they're doing fine. And they're like, I'm about to dunk this. I'm about to dunk this. And then let's say Wandavision is like Jordan, who stepped off the bench. And now all of a sudden you're like, you don't know how to dribble anymore. You're the court. And we're about to see the biggest brick in friggin' move. Like, oh my gosh.
My God.
This is gonna be a crazy airball shot. This is gonna be nuts.
I don't even understand.
I'm just still mad that they did a full-on countdown to a shitty trailer. Like, if you're gonna do a countdown, better.
You got to deliver. Manhunter in it.
Shut up.
Dude.
Oh man, where were you the last 3 catastrophes on Earth?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You jackass.
From the first time they introduced Superman, you're telling us you were the general this whole time, standing around not doing anything to help. All this
Didn't
stuff
even
is
join in the Justice League moment. Why not?
Dumb bullshit. Anyways,
actually, he didn't join in the Justice League moment because technically that Justice League moment didn't happen if the Snyder Cut comes out. So actually, this is our first Justice League movie.
Oh snap!
Right? They were never called the Justice League.
Technically, Justice League never happened if this movie drops.
But wait, no, what?
And again, it's not fixing the universe. It's just the story.
But people might take this and be like this over Whedon's, and then
no. I blame Whedon. I blame Whedon for being such a shitbag that everybody now feels it's okay to want to see the Snyder Cut.
I don't blame Whedon at all because Whedon did what he was paid to do, and he just so happened to be a crappy person.
But you know what? I'll give Tobi points in the sense that I understand if Whedon had done a better job, we wouldn't want to see the Snyder Cut.
Yeah,
Whedon wasn't hired to do a better job. Not by Disney.
Yeah,
wasn't he? But why? Okay, but
that's the problem. I think Skinny's right. He wasn't hired to do a better job. He was just hired to finish off the movie. They didn't have. I don't understand what the deal was, but it was.
But then,
wasn't like they told him.
If you're finishing off the movie, why are you cutting things out that's already filmed? Why not just finish it the way the original person intended, which is what doesn't make sense to me. Joss Whedon is going to sabotage something DC or comic book related? I don't think so, man.
That's weird. No, I mean, I don't know. Hey, we found out he is one of the shittiest people in Hollywood recently, so maybe he.
And I loved him. I love Dude. I used to really like Dude, and now I'm kind of like, hold on.
I didn't really like Joss Whedon.
No, I did.
You didn't like Buffy?
I never really watched Buffy, so I didn't care.
What?
Have I never said that, guys? I have never watched a full episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
You need to go back and watch a full episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
That's not happening.
Why not?
That's just too late for that.
Did you ever watch Angel? Did you watch
I saw some Angel, yes.
Okay.
But
yeah,
some
because
like
the Angel, Dollhouse, Firefly, Serenity,
okay. Not a fan of Joss Whedon. I watched Firefly. Like, yes.
Firefly is good, yeah.
Sure, yeah. But those are older cuts. Anyway, he hasn't been relevant in my life for a very long time.
You know what? I was saying the other day, before he did the Avengers movie, I gotta say, he wasn't relevant at that point anymore. When he did Age of Ultron, what was he? What like?
That was arguably one of the worst Avengers movies. Also,
yeah.
That movie doesn't get enough love. That movie wasn't as bad as
Age of Ultron.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It wasn't as bad. I'm just saying, compared to the other Avengers movies, it's the lowest.
I like it over one. I fucking hate one. I don't like one.
Crazy.
I don't like one. One is too much of this.
Crazy.
Too much of this in one.
Too much of this. What?
For the listeners, Skinny is doing about chat too much symbol. You guys should go watch on YouTube. The chat too much symbol is when you have your hand like a puppet. Chat too much is.
I don't think that's true, man.
I don't think we watched the same movie.
All the Avengers with the chat talk. Why are we here? We have to take Loki back here. I don't know.
It's a 90-minute movie. They fight for like 80 minutes. What are you talking about?
You watch Avengers 1. They do not.
Dude, the last at least 40 minutes of that movie is just pure like war.
This episode involved into insanity.
Come on, man.
Age of Ultron looks better. I like it.
Wow. I won't.
Sorry. Like, come on.
Skinny's drunk. He's drinking something and whatever he's got going on. I'm not got some of that gin and juice. That's okay. Let's move on.
Devin is out here.
Wait, you need to talk to your man over here who's calling me don't be gay. Wait. All right. Weird.
Yo, let's end this before it gets into a fight.
Get up my show.
Yo, you guys are crazy about Avengers 1. I'm sorry.
Not chatting Avengers 1.
You guys are crazy.
See that?
That's another level of nuts.
You chat too much.
I mean, I will, but so the exposition was there. We're introducing a lot of the characters, but I understand for us who knew about these characters already, it was like, you guys don't have to fucking explain so many things. Like, we're ready to go. That's one of the things that's kind of hard for us as fans, because there's a lot of us being like, I already know, like, even when watching WandaVision,
the exposition is necessary, though.
I know. Well, it's because you're trying to get everyone to watch these things now. So I get it. It's just that I definitely understand what Skinny's saying in the first movie. It's so much exposition to be like, well, Tony needs to do this. And because up until that point, all those individual movies, you hoped people watched them to watch this, but they didn't necessarily have to. Yeah. Whereas by the time you got to Age of Ultron, it was established. Like we've said, your sequel, you don't have to do as much. Like Spider-Man Far From Home. The second movie always has where you depower the hero to make it more interesting because they're so powerful in the first.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you guys are going to hate my picks. I'm that weird dude who likes Turtles 3 over Secret of the Ooze. So, like, yo.
Whoa. Okay.
I'm here with it.
This is a whole other. A whole other. But
I just felt my pits sweating. I'm getting hot over here.
Two last bits of news. Captain Marvel 2, Zawe Ashton tapped to play the villain in the new Marvel sequel that's being directed by Nia Costa. And
do we know who the villain is?
That better be a Black Rogue.
Who do you think it's Black Rogue? That would be interesting. People have been making was it you, Skinny, that tagged me in the custom Black Rogue action figure?
No, it was the custom. It was the Fantastic Four.
Oh no, okay, I'll try and tag you. Someone made a custom Black Rogue that was pretty fucking dope. And it would be interesting because Black Rogue, Rogue is a pretty important character. And also, would we be introducing mutants? A whole other conversation there.
Well, we will because Captain Marvel 2?
Yeah.
Well, Ms. Marvel is going to be in it. She for sure is going to be a mutant.
You don't think she's gonna be Inhuman? God, I hate. Anyways, okay, fine.
No, man. I think you guys need to let go of the Inhuman.
I let it go. I'm mad.
We're talking about Inhumans.
What?
What are you talking about Inhumans?
No, but what
I'm always talking about Inhumans.
Good, Tobi. I like that.
Sorry, Skinny.
I like what Tobi said. Yeah, they could make all the newer Inhumans like Crystal, Miss Marvel, Karnak. They can just make them mutants.
Yeah, they're gonna be mutants. I know they are. I accept and acknowledge that this is the fate now. They're gonna undo the Inhumans. Black Bolt probably won't even show up. Medusa probably won't even show up. I feel like you guys have both said this. So
yeah,
I don't want this, but I don't see how they're not going to do it. Is what I'm saying.
People. Yo, phase 3.
Oh my god! 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 Something just hit me. Miss Marvel. Do you know where she lives in the comic books?
New Jersey.
Exactly. Where's Wanda?
Westfield, New Jersey. Guys, that's what I'm saying. I've been saying this from episode 1. Wanda creates mutants.
Holy shit. Oh my god. Do you think they'll end the show with bring on the mutants instead of no more mutants?
Oh.
Okay.
I would be so happy. I'd be like, it is the House of M I've always claimed.
No, I don't think they'll go that. Feige kills our dreams, and he won't go that far for us.
I gotta say though, it is pretty wild because Miss Marvel being a mutant makes sense. Miss Marvel lives in New Jersey. If they stick to that it's a lot of dominoes falling into place, man.
Monica Rambeau getting her power. Like it's inevitable.
A lot of dominoes. Holy shit, man! We're almost at 2 hours, guys. We gotta wrap this up. Disney subscribers to exceed Netflix users by 2026. Projected. Sorry.
Yeah.
These things. So
that's fine. There are a lot of kids out there whose parents it's the kids.
Yeah.
Well, also, I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of over Netflix. Like, other than the Korean stuff that's coming out, they haven't put out anything that's really blown me away recently.
Hey, shout out to Miss Shanks. Thanks for watching.
Yeah. Oh, that's dope.
Why, but that doesn't sound good.
Dave, I'm over here telling a fan, thank you for bringing someone else on.
Dave, I love you, Dave. Dave, I love you. I love you, Dave.
It's gonna be funny.
Look, Devin said he loves you, man. He said much love. I'm just kidding. And you're still out here throwing daggers at my guy.
For a second. I had to pay attention to what I heard.
She loves Dave too. Okay, I guess it's not that much.
No, I'm not saying. I'm not trying to hate. I was like, Dave, but I'm not.
Dave out here telling his friend your wife stings. It's like, damn, Dave. This is really rude, man.
Oh gosh. But yeah, I get why Disney Plus is going up. I expected this, to be honest. The kids.
I don't think it will kill Netflix, but I think it definitely will hurt Netflix. We said that all along. Guys, this was a wild episode. This is a wild fun. We had so much fun. First off, thank you to everyone who watched it live. This was one of the best interacted episodes for a minute. So we appreciate you guys.
Probably our most watched live too, actually.
Damn, I missed it.
Yeah. It was pretty high numbers and a lot of people getting in and the comments. So we appreciate all you guys tuning in. Once again, if you guys are listening to this on the podcast, feel free to jump in. We do the show on Wednesdays on youtube.com/freeXagentsmedia. That is the site. You guys can go to it. If you're watching it live right now, subscribe. If you're listening to it, go over to the site and subscribe. Watch us live. Be a part of the conversation. We love having you guys be a part of it because we have so much fun. As you can see, all these comments has been great. It was a great interaction. Shout out to Devin, Dan, Mike K, to Mrs. Shanks, to Eva, to Grizz, Jay Grizz, to I don't even know who else was on here. There's so many. I can't scroll back all the way. Lee J, who's been at day one. So shout outs to all you guys, everyone that tuned in, and make sure you subscribe again and follow us. And you know what? One thing I want to ask you guys, if you guys are watching this, if you guys could go over to iTunes and rate and review us. I know we don't usually ask, but it really helps us with visibility. And it would be nice. And if you guys, or if anything, if you guys want to follow us on Spotify, you can also do that. So those are in the comments. That's it. That's the whole show, guys. Anything you guys want to tell the people before we bounce?
Shouts to Mike K on getting me the House of X Marvel Legends figs. I'm going to be doing reviews on those real soon. And yeah, that's basically that.
That's it, y'all. We're out. Peace, everybody.
Later, folks.
All right.